Okay, we're ready to go. You already heard a brief intro to this webinar that you joined about the Master in Science in Management from the Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. I hope I say that right, but my next colleague will be presenting from the university will be able to do that better than me. My name is Luc Mulling, and I'm here to just explain you some interactive options that we have in this webinar. As you can indeed write already where you're logging in from, I see already various people doing that in the chat, so that's great to see. Welcome everybody. Also, most importantly, you can write any questions you may have through the panel called questions at the right bottom. That way we make sure we can answer them, and we will try to do that at the end of the session. Also, I'll be opening up some polling questions to you. So just to get to know you a little bit better and to have some more information and feedback from you, basically. So I've already just put a question up there, so you can let us know. And last but not least, we have a little fun button, so to say. And that is a button at the bottom of the screen where you see React. If you click on that button, you can give a reaction of your choice just to make it a bit more fun. And if you like what you hear exactly, then you can click on that one. Then just to make it more fun for the presenters as well, so they have an idea that you're actually there at the other end. Now, having said that, let's go over to the presenters, and we will start with Adar from the university, and he will introduce himself and lead us to the agenda. Good luck.
Sure thing. Thank you so much, Luke. Your pronunciation is getting better by the day. So by the end of this webinar series, we're gonna sound like a real Italian. Well, thank you so much for the introduction, Luke. As per usual, always a pleasure to be here hosting these webinars with you. We're gonna go briefly through, obviously the today's agenda. We're gonna do a brief introduction of the university as well. We're going to have a look at the program. So we're going to start, let's say, with an intro to the program. And then, as you already said, we also have some guest of honors today. We start, obviously, with a dear professor of ours. She's a senior assistant professor of marketing at Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. We're going to have some alumni of ours. They're going to share their experience at Cattolica, and they're going to also share some tips and instructions, and also share something from their current careers. And, speaking of alumni, I must admit that it all feels a little nostalgic for myself, because I would be an alumnus as well of this very program. I'm here today, from the international office of Università Cattolica, but this right here, the 2-year graduate program in management, was my program as well some years ago. So I would have loved, to be on the receiving end of the questions as well, but maybe for another time. And then once our guest speakers have shared their perspectives, their experience, their tips and instructions, I'm also going to come back with, I must say, a slightly more boring part, but equally important, because we're also going to go through the entry requirements for this program. We're also going to go through the application timeline, the fee structure, the scholarship opportunities as well. And obviously, at the very end, we're going to give you all some time to ask any questions that you might have, or to clear out any doubt that you might have with regards to Cattolica, to the program, or to any other thing, basically. So let's start with the university itself. So, you're going to study management, but of course, you're going to be within the Università Cattolica's environment. So you might have some sort of idea of what Cattolica stands, what Cattolica is all about. We're talking about the largest non-state university in Europe, founded more than 100 years ago, which is impressive, frankly speaking, for a non-state institution. We're talking about a fully accredited research university located in 5 different campuses across Italy. So you're going to study in Milan. Hopefully, probably you'll be in this very campus that you can see on my background. But Cattolica is also located in Brescia, in Piacenza, Cremona, in Rome as well. Cattolica, as we speak, has 12 schools. making us, I think, one of the most multidisciplinary institutions out there. You could study basically, well, it would be much easier for me to state what you cannot study rather than what you can study at Università Cattolica. And I mean, apart from engineering or architecture or design, you could study pretty much everything else at Università Cattolica. As we speak, we have around 40,000 students in total. And for you to also, understand how relevant, how important, how big the international community is, just consider the fact that more than 10% of this overall number of students is made of international students. We do work quite closely with almost 600 partner universities as we speak. And yeah, in terms of the academic offering, it would be pretty much impossible to go through all of our programs. I would need like 500 slides to go through our plus 50 plus English taught programs and mostly 200 plus Italian taught programs. But why would, you always need to make this sort of distinction before picking the right destination and the right university, most of all. You have private institutions, you have public institutions. Obviously, there's a lot of competition going out there, both related to academic excellence, to the student experience, but also to the global exposure that you might get when you attend a specific university, Cattolica rather than another university. Well, let's start with higher funding for research and student services. Let's start with the deep connection that the private institutions such as Università Cattolica has with the job market. Let's consider then the lower student-teacher ratio. You would not be inserted in, 700 student classrooms, in these huge lecture halls where you cannot basically have any sort of connection with the professor or with the teacher, with the faculty itself. Then obviously you can jump on to the global exposure due to the funding that a non-state institution can invest. As we said, we do work with almost 600 partner universities as we speak. And then, of course, dedicated services, tailored services for international students, especially a dedicated area as well for international students during their application process, but also once they are in Italy, once they are in Milan. And last, but certainly not in terms of relevance or importance, we mentioned academic excellence. Let's say that you would pick Università Cattolica outside of the 40,000 universities out there. You would be picking one of the top 450 universities worldwide, according to QS, one of the top 350 universities worldwide, according to Times Higher Education. And you would be picking a university that has 17 subject areas ranked among the top 350 subject areas worldwide. Obviously, we're going to discuss management today as a subject area. Let's say if you were to study management at Università Cattolica, you would be studying at one of the top 300 institutions worldwide. Maybe you would want to study medicine, perhaps. You would be attending one of the top 200 institutions worldwide. And this gives you an idea not only of how diverse the academic offer is, but also of the academic excellence that you would be able to find at Università Cattolica, which was actually some years ago the main reason that led myself as well into picking the 2-year program in management. We're talking about a fully taught in English Master of Science at our amazing campus in Milan. Why Milan? You might even want to ask. I mean, Milan is the economical and financial hub of Italy. Like the campus itself, the one that you can see right here, is located like less than 10 minutes walking distance from the stock market. So there's no better place, frankly speaking, than Milan for you to study anything related to management. Then we started talking about how diverse the community at Università Cattolica is apart from the academic offering. You'd be looking at a truly global classroom with 17 nationalities and the faculty staff itself from 12 countries. you would be looking at an amazing, truly amazing 11-to-1 student-professor ratio. And on top of them all, as if these are not enough, on top of them all, you could also consider some extra study abroad options, like the double degree option that this program of ours has with Boston University, for example, or even the University of Western Australia. And this is the global exposure that I was previously mentioning. Having said that, consider this like a super brief overview of what Cattolica is all about, what the program has to offer. And I think our guest speakers will help us understand the program better, the world at Cattolica better, and what you would expect as an international student in our program of management at Università Cattolica. And I think that we can definitely start with our first guest, our professor. Hello, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ador. Thank you, Lucas, from the Study Abroad portal, and this opportunity to meet international students. As introduced, I'm senior assistant professor of marketing at Cattolica. I serve as deputy director of the Master of Science in Management, together with Professor Benedetto Canatelli, who you saw in the video presenting the Master of Science. And we coordinate the Master of Science also together with another colleague, Chiara Corvino, who's assistant professor of work psychology. So our team is composed of 3 professors specialized in different fields. Today, I would like to give you an overview about the Master of Science program, but also let you hear from the alumni experience. Our Master of Science in Management this year celebrates 10 years, so that's a great milestone for our Master of Science that received the EFMD accreditation 2 years ago. So this is also a recognition of the excellence that characterize our program. So we keep on improving, and also the opportunity to meet international students give us the chance to improve our program further.
Wow. Thank you so much. And it's always good to have the perspective, of us alumnus right here of the university itself, but it's also very good to have the perspective from an academic staff such as yourself. And what we are curious about, what a lot of students would ask, what would make this program, the MSc in Management, stand out, let's say, from other management programs, other management master's programs, according to you?
So the Master of Science in Management at Cattolica offers a very distinctive educational outcome, which integrates personalized learning with practical applications and also global perspective. Why personalized learning? Students have the opportunity to develop a personalized learning path, which means that students can select from diverse courses at advanced and elective level, so that they can align the education with their personal interests and also their prior backgrounds in that they received in their bachelor studies. In fact, in the second year of the Master of Science, each student is assigned to one of 4 business labs. This includes digital and consulting companies, luxury and fashion, life science and technologies, and multinational enterprises. So students can pursue a career selecting one of these business labs in which they will specialize, taking specific courses, conducting field projects, and also pursuing an internship that oftentimes is finalized with a hiring process with the partner company after the graduation. So the program is characterized by hands-on practical experience. During the 2 years of the course, students can focus on diverse industry by engaging with company visits, guest lectures with practitioners, field projects, so that they can foster their managerial flexibility, but also their problem-solving skills in real-world scenarios. Also, as mentioned, the university program also allows students to access international opportunities, double degrees, but also study abroad programs, so spend one semester or summer program abroad, and also some collaborative online international learning, so that during a course in Cattolica, students can engage with students from other international students. So it's a very multicultural environment characterized by several opportunities within the Milan campus, but also with the partner university around the world.
Right. It makes me want to reapply, whenever I go back to this program, frankly speaking, I wish I could go back some years to just simply reattend it. I think it's a perfect combination, as our professor was saying, the perfect combination of the theoretical foundation with actual real world applications through the actual business labs. And if you might want to share an example, perhaps, of a real world application, world problem, maybe, that students will learn how to solve through the program or through a specific component of the program?
Yes. So during the courses of our Master of Science, students are challenged to solve business cases, to develop project works, either at individual or group level, for companies that are partner of our Master of Science. For example, during this year, my marketing communication course, a leading banking group challenged the students of the course with a brief that concerned the development of an integrated marketing communication plans for the international markets where this banking group operates. And the main issue they were faced were to engage younger consumers, focusing on digital channels. So students received the brief, and during the term of the course, they worked in groups so that at the end of the course, they presented their solution to the company at the Milan headquarters. So they presented their ideas to top management of the banking group. And all these groups were very much appreciated. Their efforts were appreciated by the company. And so then the company also offered some internship opportunities to the students.
Wow, great. Thank you so much. Our end game here, like we have shared a common end game, I think, us and the students attending, they're trying to find the right fit for themselves. Obviously, they're trying to find the right environment to grow, to study, and everything. And we are also trying, obviously, to find the right student. And what would be, according to you, Prof, the right student, the right candidate for this program?
So our Master of Science in Management program is suited for students that aim at assuming key roles in global organizations. Students who excel in this program typically are characterized by qualities like adaptability, open-mindedness, so students that are willing to embrace a diverse perspective, to adapt to various culture, but also various business contexts. Students that are proactive and engaged in practical experiences, but also extracurricular activities. So our program offers extracurricular activities like the buddy program, second-year students mentor first-year students. We have a communication social media team, so students communicate the Master of Science activities on social media. And then there's also a social impact program. So students volunteer for a non-profit organization. So we also have a commitment to mindful leadership and to make to also foster education that makes a positive impact on society. So finally, I would say another characteristic is the collaborative spirit, the ability to work effectively in teams, often in multicultural settings, since what they learn in team at university during the courses will be soon after be put in practice during the internship or so after graduation when they enter the business world.
Thank you so much. And I think all of us alumni here can agree with everything that the professor just stated or just shared. And speaking of alumni, we're going to start with our first guest alumni today. And please, Matilde, you can unmute yourself. Thank you so much for joining us, first of all. Such a pleasure to meet fellow alumni.
It's a pleasure for me. I'm really welcome to be here. And yes, as Professor Lalaou mentioned, this let's say this course was established 10 years ago, and I was part of the first edition. So I have to go back in 10 years of my memory to answer to your questions today.
All right, thank you so much, Matilde. Well, we're going to go through memory lane now. So, if you can remember, like 10 years ago now, what drew you to this specific program? Like, out of all the study programs that you could pick, why did you pick specifically this one?
So yeah, when I had to consider if applying to this Master of Science in Management, I took into account three different timing. Let's say I looked at the past, and I attended the bachelor degree at Università Cattolica, and it was a really great experience for me. So first of all, I already knew that the university has a really excellent level in terms of training of teacher and students. Then I took into account the present at that time, of course, and what really convinced me was the internationality of this class, both in terms of students and professor. Many of them were from abroad. And since I'm really curious, this was an important, let's say, item to take into account. And then, of course, I looked at, I considered the future in terms of opportunities in the market. And as the professor said, the link with companies is really strong. And I understood since that time that I could have a possibility to start working right immediately or right during the let's say this 2 years program, and it was what really happened at the end. I was hired by a company that had a partnership with the Master of Science. So I'm a practical example of a real link between university and work life right after.
Great, thank you so much. And speaking about working experience, obviously, I mean, that's, I think, the most important objective that a lot of international students have, a lot of students in general. And you are currently, Matilde, now group brand manager at Nestlé.
Yes.
How did this program, let's say, prepare you for your current career?
there are many aspects I could mention in terms of how I was prepared to the working life after, but I would tell two of them, the most important one. First of all, team building. It's a really essential competence you need to have when you enter the working life, and all the classes were organized through team working. So I had the possibility during my studying period at the Master of Science in Management to learn how to handle different personality, how to handle different goals, and how to find a final common point of view in order to proceed. And then the second one is flexibility. The Master of Science really allow me to find and to work on the ability to switch from one topic to another, to learn the competence of many different kind of field. It wasn't really specific on one market. We studied many different markets. So yes, it really helped me in have a broad vision and to be flexible to adapt to many different situations.
Amazing. That's an actual golden tip that we share to international students all the time, being able to adapt, being able to always be flexible in all sorts of situations. But let's say that there are some students that might be interested, let's say, that are aiming at a career in marketing and branding, Matilde. Let's say, what advice, if you were to give an advice, if you were to give some tips to them, what would they be?
I would have many advice, but I think the importance of networking is crucial. It's the reason why I'm here, because I always nurtured this relationship with even my university. So the suggestion is to try to create a good relationship, a good environment in which to work between students, but also with the professor that at the end are even your consultant in terms of future career. And then what I really think it's important, after 10 years I'm working in an international company, I always say to people are working with me that hard skills are important as well as soft skills. So try to take advantage of this experience at university, not only to get strong competencies in the economic field, but also in terms of relationship, both at the same level and with the upper level.
All right. Nice. Very nice. And if this is a hard one, and I'm going to ask you all this very same question. So brace yourselves, prepare yourselves for this one. If you were to describe the program, the study program, or your experience in one sentence, what would it be?
Here I'm becoming nostalgic. So
I can imagine.
I would say that if there could be a button to go back to the past, I would definitely go to these 2 years, because they were really a complete experience. The Master of Science is, I see it as a tool to create a good networking, to enhance flexibility skills with a broad perspective to the working world.
Great. Thank you so much. I would have used nostalgic as well, honestly. Thank you so much, Matilde. Well, we can jump to our next guest right away, I guess. Thank you so much, Ludovico, for being here.
Thank you, Ador. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Ludovico. Well, we're very glad to also have you here, so you can share your experience. And let's start from the beginning. Why did you pick this program?
Well, when I was in high school, the only thing that I knew was that I wanted to have a career in an international company. So I started my university path in the Bachelor of Economics and Management in Università Cattolica. And well, at the end of that, in July 2022, I had two choices, basically. I had to choose whether to start working or to continue studying. And well, I thought that I was not all ready to start a career. So the environment around me during the bachelor was incredible. People, international students, knowledge, and also the professors were so inspiring. And so I decided to continue my study path uh, in with the Master of in International Management. That is, I think it was the best choice I ever made in my study career.
We're very glad to hear that. And Ludovico, you are now working in sponsorship management at Generali. How did our program in management, let's say, help you with the transition into this specific sector?
Well, before moving to Generali, I was working in Kraft Heinz, and I was like a very international role since I was dealing with the global business units of Kraft Heinz. And so when it came to change and like start a new career in Generali, what I thought was, well, how can I apply what I've studied to this new career? And I had so much international, I'm actually working in the head office that is basically heading all the business units around the world of Generali, and we are managing and coordinating all the sponsorships activities. And well, during my Master of Science, I followed a lot of international oriented courses like transnational business law that is very actual to contractual liabilities in sponsorships, and also cross-cultural management when you have to deal with international teams and also to bargain with international teams and international business units. And I think that those were the two subjects from my Master of Science that helped me more. And well, then all the other stuff that I was doing, like basically also in the working on a daily basis with international students, helped me to be more confident in communicating also with international teams. And I think that that was the main cause that helped me changing.
I can definitely agree. And you mentioned two subjects, two courses of the program, one being a mandatory class and the other being an elective. And I think one of the most important traits of this program is the large number of elective courses, which would help you to basically design the study plan as you wish, basically, depending on what kind of career path you would want to take. And in terms of actual courses now, or let's say experiences within the program, like, can you maybe name a few examples that had an actual direct impact to your career path?
Sure. Well, I would divide like courses and experiences. Starting from the courses, like during also the selection phase with interviews and stuff like that. I followed the corporate strategy course with Professor Pedrini. That was very inspiring since we also carried out project, an M&A and merger and acquisition project with the Campari Group. And that helped me a lot entering into Kraft Heinz, that is a food and beverage company. And then furthermore, I would think about what I mentioned before. So cross-cultural management was with Professor Yadvinder Rana was very, very interesting. It was an elective course, and it helped, like, it changed my perspective in international business, because like it opened my mind on how different cultures merge and working together, and how like to behave when dealing with international teams, and also when dealing with bargaining maybe international deals. And I will also add the entrepreneurship course that was carried out by Professor Benedetto Canatelli, and it was very inspiring since we had the opportunity to meet a lot of guest speakers, a lot of venture capitalists, or also angel investors and like founders. And I think that even if now I'm working in a corporation, that was very inspiring, even if maybe you don't want to start working for a company, but you would like to start your own business. That is the course that is made for you. And like from the experience point of view, I would say that what was frequently asked me during the interviews were all the project that I carried out during my study career in the Master of Science, because I was not only a student, but I was also the student representative together with Miriam in the joint committee. And then I was also leading the first edition of the social media and communication team. And I was also student body. And those are like probably the most important activities that you have to show like in an interview, and that helped me a lot, since the company will see how you're able to manage different roles in the same environment with different objectives. And that's like a crucial skill if you want to like enter successfully in a corporate environment.
All right. So you've done it all basically. So I think there's no better person maybe in terms of giving us some instructions or tips to, let's say, future students who are kind of considering this program but are not quite sure about, let's say, the employment outcome or a specific career. Like they want something in management but are not quite yet decided on what within management. What your advice would be?
Well, as I said, like you have almost a complete customization possibility for your study path, and like the non-elective courses are also like give you holistic view of the entire working career. So you will see marketing, you will see IT information systems, you will see accounting, many things. And if you were like as I was when I was like in first year and the second year, I didn't knew where I was going to end up at the end when I finally graduated. So you will have a portfolio of courses, of knowledge, experiences that will basically open to you a lot of doors. If you want to go working in finance, you will have like the right courses that you followed. If you want to go to working in marketing, or like me in international operations, I think that's the course for you, because like you don't want, when you're not certain about what will be your path, you don't want to go in something that is very specific, but like, for example, space engineering, something like that. You would like to go in a place where you will have an holistic view, a complete view of the working environment, and then you will choose, and you will have the tools to choose.
I can 100% agree with that. And what would your one sentence be?
Well, I will say I've been becoming nostalgic as well. Well, I will say people-centric, because people are like the first pillar of the course, and plenty of inspirational projects and activity, and will be like the perfect path for your mind, heart, and working activities.
Thank you so much, Ludovico. It's
Thank
becoming like the reunion of nostalgic alumni today, basically. And we can move on with our third guest, Miriam. Thank you so much for being here as well. We're very glad to have you as part of our reunion. Let's call it reunion. It's not even a presentation anymore. And well, thank you so much for being here. If you want to go ahead with a brief introduction of yourself, you'll be very welcome to do so.
Sure. So I graduated from the program in July 24, and now I'm attending a master in sport management and technology in Lausanne, Switzerland. And because I always wanted to work in sport, I have a strong background in sport as an athlete, as a coach. Then I started my bachelor degree in Università Cattolica as well. And then I decided that I wanted to work in the management of sport. But when I was applying for the master, they required me to attend the Master of Science in Management. And I chose the Master of Science in Università Cattolica for the strong international background that can offer me to step then into ISTS here in Switzerland. So now I'm currently studying here, and I will finish in a couple of months.
Amazing. Well done. But, let's talk about, the skills that you have gained, the network that you have built at Università Cattolica during those 2 years. How do you see these skills and this network playing an important role, let's say, in your future career once you finish your studies?
So something that comes up to my mind very quickly is, for example, I did a field project in consultancy, and my project was a consultancy project for a small medium enterprise in Milano. And it was a 4 months consultancy project, and it was really helpful. Like now I'm running another consultancy project from an international federation here in Lausanne. And that experience I had with Professor Canatelli and my other classmates, it was really helpful to gain the skills in serve as a consultant, go again with a teamwork for 4 months, and set of expectations. And it was really, really helpful so far. And I'm actually using these skills now, and consultancy is a huge work, and lots of people who are studying management or economics are going into the consultancy field. So it will be super useful. And from the network point of view, this alumni community that is expanding every year more, I felt very supported by during the Master of Science. And now I'm still in touch with my classmates, and of course I just graduated in July, but I feel both supporting but also a valuable tool for the future, for new job opportunities, or
It's actually quite amazing, to hear that all this sort of knowledge, academic knowledge, skills, and networking are not only necessarily super useful for the career, but also super useful if you are willing, let's say, to attend further study programs, to attend a master, for example, such as Miriam. But let's get back to your previous master now, to the master in Cattolica. According to you, what was your biggest takeaway from that experience?
So for me, what looking at myself 2 years ago, it's for sure I had the possibility to step out of my comfort zone, because of this course were entirely taught in English. My bachelor was in Italian. So for my first challenge, also having a percentage of international students always in class, we were kind of forced to speak English every time. But it was amazing, because now I'm in international class with 19 different nationalities as well. So I arrived here fully prepared to face an international environment. Then I had an amazing opportunity to be part of exchange program with the Erasmus Plus exchange program in London, where I spent there 3 months, and I did 4 courses there. And then also, again, the field project, the business lab, the visits on site. It was really a challenge out of my comfort zone, also because coming from all my bachelor degree was affected by COVID. So online classes, not seeing people. So it was really the beginning of stepping out of comfort zone that brought me here in Lausanne.
Absolutely. Well done. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. If you were to do it all over again, now that you've gone through this experience, now that, let's say, you have a better understanding of what the master entails, what this sort of experience entails, let's say that you go back a few years now, and you have the chance to give yourself an advice, what would that be?
So as Ludovico mentioned, it is very people-centric, this master. I would say to enjoy more the time with classmates outside the lectures time. So we're just 100 in class. I came from a bachelor with 400 people-ish in the batch. So it's completely different. Like not a class from high school, but quite. And so also a lot of people were coming from different regions of Italy, different countries of the world. So for most of them would be the first time in Italy or the first time in Milan. So I am from Milan, so I was not participating to all the hangs out, but maybe I would join more the time with my friends, with the classmates, spend more time with them. But I did, but I would do more.
All right, you do it even more if you were to go back. Great. That's great advice, actually. Well, your one sentence, it's up to you now. Nostalgic is taken, is already taken.
It's nostalgic, but very grateful as well, because in one sentence, it was the right and perfect opportunity to challenge myself out of my comfort zone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes. And you know, all of this really does sound super familiar to myself as well. I've felt that this program does not only bring all the academic knowledge that you need, but all the soft skills and all the networking that would definitely lead to a successful careers for both domestic, but especially international students, such as myself some years ago. Having said that, as I promised at the very beginning of the presentation, now that we went through the fancy guest speakers, we're going to go back to a more boring component of the webinar today, but equally important. So if you were to pay extra attention to any given slides, please do so with these 2 or 3 next slides. So applications as we speak are open. You can go ahead, visit our international website and start an application right away. It's as easy as if you were creating like a social media account. It will take less than 15 minutes to be done with it, basically. There is a round deadline coming very soon on March the 26th. Then the final deadline for non-European students on May the 7th, and the very final deadline for European students on June the 25th. When it comes to the fee structure of this study program, so citizenship, nationality has nothing to do with how tuition fees are defined. So the timeline itself depends on your citizenship. The tuition fee is basically calculated on where your fiscal residency is, where you pay taxes, basically. So you would have students living in a European country would pay 6,625 euros per year, as long as their family's income does not exceed the 150,000 euros per year. When it comes to students residing and paying taxes in a non-European country, there is a flat tuition fee. The full flat tuition fee is 9,050 euros per year. But once you would be applying for the study program, you'll notice quite a basic question within the application form, asking whether you would want to be considered for the UCSC International Scholarship. Obviously, you would want to be considered for the scholarship, and should it be granted, it's an academic, it's a merit-based scholarship. Should it be granted, it will lead to a final tuition fee of 6,400 euros per year, because this scholarship will be automatically renewed for the second year of the program as well. When it comes to the entry requirements, so first of all, we do need to define your eligibility for admission. So you need to have a bachelor degree. You need to have attended a minimum of 15 years of global schooling to be eligible. And then we're going to move on with the entry requirements that will help us define whether you could be admitted, hopefully, or not. So you need to satisfy the linguistic requirement. Obviously, it's an English taught program. You need to have to score a B2. It could be an academic IELTS. It could be a TOEFL IBT. You can find all of the accepted certificates in our website that you can find in this very slide right here. And being a Master of Science, your academic background should be similar to the program that you are willing to start at Università Cattolica. So you need to hold an undergraduate degree in fields such as economics, management, or business studies as a whole. We could also consider slightly different fields of studies, but your curriculums then must include subjects such as business law, financial management, marketing, business organization, and management accounting as well. Obviously, this is super important. These are all important information. Do not try to memorize all these numbers, all this data. Just go ahead, scan the QR code right here, and you could proceed with creating your account and getting all the information that you need from our international website. And having said that, I think, Luke, we can dedicate some time to any questions that we might have received during the presentation.
Yes, indeed. That's where I come back in. And thanks everyone already for their great insights in this program. We received several questions. So I'm going to read them out from the live audience. Maybe just one thing to highlight, because I know these days a lot of people watch the recording as well. You can still write your questions if you're watching the recording. We can, of course, not answer them live, but we will be sending them through to the university so they can come back to you, probably by email. Good. Well, first, let's see. We had a question from Anna. She was interested in the program, wanted to know the option to meet the entrance requirements. She has a bachelor degree in international business, also done some master courses and 6 years of working experience. Well, I guess you can confirm maybe that.
So academically speaking, it would be quite impossible, to give a precise answer without seeing the actual transcripts. Generally speaking, I think that, a background in international business is somehow aligned with our program. However, go ahead, visit the website, have a look at the actual requirements. If you still have any doubts, please send us an email, and Luke has the email address in the very final slide of this presentation, and we would be more than happy to chat it, to have a discussion over your transcripts and over what your objectives could be.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're getting the thumbs up. Hope that answered the question. Yeah, so if any personal recommendations, or if you can apply, and like the next question about Shioke, it's probably good to be in contact and to send your request to the email. Your other part of the question we received from Chioke was a question of if it's online and the cost. Can you say something about?
So we're talking about an offline program, so it's an in-person program, and keep this in mind. Being part of the community, being at the university, is a crucial component for all study programs at Università Cattolica. We do put great value into working together, into creating and fostering this community. So being here, it's not like, only a matter of attending lessons and getting along with your classmates and everything. But being part of a larger community is a crucial thing that we need to keep in mind. As for the tuition fees, on the other hand, since this was the second question, you have a full tuition fee of 6,625 euros for students living in European countries, and a full tuition fee of 9,050 euros per year, which can be discounted up to 6,400 euros per year for students living in non-European countries.
Okay, thank you. And let's go to the next question. I rather wanted to know about summer programs. Well, yeah, that's a different topic altogether. This is about the MC, the Master of Science in Management, as mentioned. So I don't know, Ador, if you want to say something about that or briefly.
Well, we went through it in the very beginning. If you do remember correctly, we work with like 600 partner universities. So obviously, we do offer short-term programs and internships and exchanges. However, please go ahead and send us an email because, as I said before, it would be pretty much impossible to go through all of our academic offerings right here.
Yes. Okay. So check also on the website. For other master programs, I can say we've done a series of webinars. So also check out the portal. So we've done various other topics, and still in the coming days we have more coming up. A question from, well, Anonimo is, I saw the labs are included in the curriculum. What are they about?
Well, I think I can leave the floor to the professor.
So in the second year, all students are assigned to one of the 4 business labs: digital and consulting, luxury and fashion, life science, technology, and multinational enterprises. So all students follow specific course dedicated to the business lab. They engage with the partner company of this business lab, and afterwards they start an internship with the partner company of that specific business lab, so they can specialize in the industry, in the sector related to the business lab. So it's a very peculiar experience of the Master of Science that helps students to understand better what their interests are in terms of industry, in terms of competency. So the business lab helps students to strengthen their competencies and afterwards also start a career maybe in that specific industry.
You're muted, Luke.
Yes, I'm sorry. I
couldn't hear you.
Myself. So yes, I just was saying thank you for that answer, and I hope that answered the question. So next question is about work experience. Do you need any?
It's not mandatory to have a previous work experience, but if you have any work experience before, you can also stress that in your presentation, so that you show also coherence with your previous work experience. Or some other international students that wrote that she had already experience in marketing and sales. So that could be the opportunity. The Master of Science could be an opportunity to strengthen these competencies and specialize in the marketing field even more.
Great, thank you very much. Let's go over to the next question about study abroad experiences. Is it possible to do some experience abroad?
Well, the program itself offers 2 double degree options, as we mentioned during the presentation. We have a double degree option with the University of Boston and another double degree option with Western Australia University. Basically, you would be obtaining 2 degrees instead of 1. You would be studying in Milan, and then you would be studying either in Boston or in Australia. In terms of then study abroad options, yeah, again, it would be basically impossible for me to go through all of our options. So go ahead, the email address, and we can discuss it. Absolutely, yes. You can attend basically short-term programs if you are enrolled to most of our programs in Cattolica.
Okay, thank you. And at this point also, I wanted to make sure about the pollings. I've been just opening up another poll question. So you can find that at the right bottom under polls. I see many of you have already answered. Just to let us know a bit about your feedback. And in this case, also when you would like to apply, if you're interested, and also if you would like to hear any more information about anything, then we can also take that into account. So thank you for that. Question from Nawa. Nawa got accepted last year, could not enroll. So would like to know, can I still guarantee to be accepted this year?
As much as I would love to guarantee it, unfortunately, I can simply not. You need to go through the very same application procedure that you went through last year, through the evaluation process of both your academic background, your linguistic proficiency, motivation letter, and academic reference letter as well. So the application, I can confirm, is basically the same. You'll go through the same portal, but unfortunately, nobody can guarantee an admission.
Okay, thank you. And let's see, we have another question, last question at this point from Pablo. Pablo's from Argentina, but has an Italian passport. Does it help in any way?
Oh, well, it definitely helps. You're not going to have to apply for a visa if you get an admission offer. So that's quite helpful, speaking as a non-European student here who had to go through the visa process some years ago. But in terms of the application process, the evaluation process, citizenship plays no actual role.
Okay, thank you. And those were the questions I've received so far. So I don't know if there's any other question then you may have, or you have already have a good idea, as we already heard a lot of insights from everyone. Maybe all questions have been answered. Who knows? I'm just checking about, oh yeah, so there was a question in the chat. Arshak was asking about scholarships. I think was mentioned, but do you want to say something about that?
Sure thing. We can go through it all over again, no problem at all. So if you are living in a non-European country, you can apply for the UCSC International Scholarship, which is a partial merit-based scholarship. You can request this discount while filling the application for the program. We're going to check your academic background and your application as a whole to define whether you can be admitted, first of all, and then eligible for the UCSC International Scholarship.
Okay. Hope that clarified that. Thank you very much. And yeah, I think, let's see, there was... So Sophia was adding to that, that there is no fully funded scholarship.
No, there are no fully funded scholarship at Cattolica.
Exactly. Okay. And I think those were the questions at this point. Last point, maybe from the polling, the most popular request about information is about housing. Is there something briefly you can say about that, just to also
Sure thing.
that one up? Yep.
Sure thing, and I'll be quite brief about it. No worries. So we do not have here in Milan an actual dorm. Like if you were to imagine a traditional dorm, we do not have it. The campus itself, this very building itself, is located in quite of an ancient part of Milan, which is basically impossible to have an actual dorm. We do work with housing providers, housing agencies, third parties as well, that will assist you with the whole accommodation hunting process. We do have these suggestions listed on our international website. So go ahead, click on student services, and you can find everything there is to know about accommodation in Milan.
Great. Good to hear. Thank you for that. And that hopefully leads you in the right direction. That is also what this webinar is for, to help you with your questions. And well, glad to see we're already getting thumbs up and sharing the love with us. So great to see. And yeah, from at this point, there's no more questions. So we'll slowly round off the session. I have one more last polling question to the audience, where I'll drop on the screen, and it will probably jump over our... There it is. Yeah, so it is now there. Just to grade us. So you can now let us know how we did. How do you feel the session was? So let us know. Thanks for any feedback you may have.
If I can add one last thing. So
yes.
the Master of Science in Management is present on social media, LinkedIn and Instagram, thanks to the great job of the last year team led by Ludovico. This job is continue with this year's students. So if you want to take a look at our activities, also some interviews with current students, former students, alumni. So you can search us on LinkedIn and Instagram. Already noticed Naiwa follows us, so thank you. And then also get in touch with our alumni, Matilde, Miriam, Ludovico are all alumni ambassadors. So this network continues even after graduation. We are proud of our alumni and we value them, also hosting them as guest speakers for our courses. So it's also a way to give back. So we're really pleased to keep our ex-students engaged and also offer new opportunities for our current student. In fact, just recently, Matilde offered us an internship position that we share with our current students. So it's a way also to grow our network between former students and current students, and hopefully some of you as well as future students.
Great. Thank you very much. And bye-bye, everyone, for now. Hope to see you in Milan next year.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.